He communicated with him through a light. Do you believe in the additional narrative where he bargains for a reduction of the amount of prayers? So it was 5 from the get-go.
Oh, he messed up.
Hadith is just like,
Yeah.
they were just sitting in them Baghdad's taverns.
Yeah, but like ultimately the story comes from them, right? So like what do we do?
That was a good moment.
I swear 6
Like the story comes from them, right? Like is there a Shia version of the story?
I don't have answers.
No, I'm just asking.
The majority of Shias, they don't believe Aisha was nice. I guess that's you don't believe.
Nor do we like Aisha, so we're not going to take her.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Aisha?
She fought against Ali in particular. Yeah.
He was asking questions.
He said anyone who is an enemy to Ali, they're an enemy of who? Allah.
Well, this was after Muhammad died. Yeah. Okay.
We believe in the Imam, the Walayat of Imam Ali alayhi salatu salam.
I'm just curious. Last time we spoke, you said I believe in divine simplicity, so now I'm a Shia. Why not a Christian?
I wanted to be a Muslim.
Fair enough. Hey, fair enough. There wasn't any particular theological reason. It's
just cool to me.
You can still submit to the will of God.
fair enough. But then wait. You know the Trinity, right? Why isn't Allah a Trinity? So why does it befit a God to only be one hypostasis, for example, like one underlying reality at all?
There's just one essence, that's it.
Is he a person?
Oh, so your conception of Allah is strictly essence, and that's all, with no personhood. But then the purpose of the attributes are for him to showcase some kind of personhood.
In a sense, yes, to be understood for us. That's all.
Interesting.
When they give him names, it's just how we can understand the effects.
The effects of his essence. So you basically believe in what the Eastern Orthodox believe, like there's a distinction between the essence and the energies of Allah.
At least the word is impersonal, though.
Huh?
How does an impersonal force, do things
but then now the only problem now is, wouldn't that mean that Allah is dependent upon the energies to actually perform actions?
All that he is his essence.
Okay, but then in order for him to communicate with creation through the attributes.
No, I could take, there's a few views I could take.
Yeah.
I could be Neoplatonic, and I could say he got stole through the first intellect and through the universal soul. But the general understanding the Shia theologians give is, like I'm saying, this thing called the Nur al-Muhammadiyya.
The light of Muhammad?
Yeah.
Is that Muhammad himself or just something else?
There's something else.
Okay, the first creation or the second creation?
So they
Second, the pen, and then okay.
So we take the whole thing about the pen and the tablet to be symbolic to the Neoplatonic understanding.
Okay.
That's how we take it. So that's
Jesus be the light as well.
he could have had the light, he would have got his wahi, his revelation through it,
The eternal light.
Intriguing. I have never heard that as a reason. It just called to me. Okay, I mean,
It's kind of because the whole Shia theologians,
Yeah.
they have the idea of the spiritual theosis that took the whole journey. So it kind of appealed to my already Buddhist background. Kind of, okay, I said God exists. This kind of allows me to channel that through this. So I'll come to this.
then, out of curiosity again, what then had you reject the Buddhist teachings in favor of the Shia teachings? Like what was it that wasn't speaking to you in Buddhism? Or
God.
okay, right, a lack of a God, basically. So now, do you still hold a view of reincarnation, or no?
What about incarnation? That's why I'm God incarnate.
Well, technically, he should hold that, I think, because like even in the Quran, the Spirit of Allah incarnates, so it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, the ruh is a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And it incarnates; it comes in the form of a man.
Where did it say that?
In Surah 1919. The rule of Allah appears to Maryam in the form of a well-proportioned man or a man fully formed.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, so it's there.
That's fine.
Yeah. See, this is the cool thing, right? Like it's you can have a different kind of discussion when someone's like open to like philosophical ideas versus like all these like what do you call them, like Salafi that shut everything down. Yeah.
All the conversation I've been having today, they've been like, oh, why you're Shia? And I said, okay, divine simplicity.
Yep.
And they start saying da-da-da-da. And I said, so you believe Allah is dependent, my friend?
Yep.
And they all start, no, but we don't say that, though. No, we don't say that.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, because you don't say it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I believe Jesus was crucified.
Ah, but there's nothing wrong with you believing that, right? Technically.
You know what?
Believing that someone was crucified.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Khalid,
He believes Jesus was crucified.
Yeah. Go for it.
But Khalid
And Danny, yeah.
he believes that Jesus was crucified.
Is it that he was crucified or that he was like taken off in a dead state? Yeah.
funny
He accepts the full crucifixion death.
It's funny you ask me about Khalil and Danny. I actually know him personally.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
But he's like Ismaili, right?
Yeah, he's a kafir for sure.
Oh my goodness.
He is, like, no.
Shia beef.
But he holds the exact same conception of God.
That's not why he's a kafir.
Why is
Okay.
he kafir
He's a
though?
kafir because he says you don't have to pray.
Wow, really? I never heard
The Ismailis don't pray salah. They pray 3 daily dua, which is like salah but it has 6 units. And it's just not.
Isn't that more in accordance with what the Quran says? Like it's stated that 3 times you should pray in the Quran.
Me, Shias agree to that. Our prayer times for me, for example, when I got here, I prayed my Juhud and my Asr.
Okay.
Because we believe in Shia Islam, there are 3 prayer times, there are 5 prayers to be prayed within those 3 times.
I
Juhud and
see.
Asr, when the sun goes down, I can pray my Maghrib and Isha, and then Fajr is by itself.
I see.
So is it 5 prayers each?
No, it's 5 across 3 time zones.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Equations.
Interesting. Fair enough.
And I haven't worked out all my positions yet, you know, I'm a month in.
Yeah, I mean, yo, to be fair, a month in, you're better explaining this stuff than anybody else, really. So, like, how are you then dealing with all that, like, bizarre stuff, like the whole, like, slavery and, like, sex slavery and stuff? How are you dealing with that stuff? Is that, like, not an eternal command? Is it like a time command?
Well, the command is to freedom, that's the reward. The
Right hand possess.
Yeah, but like in order for you to, so think about it like this,
The
right?
thing is, right, is that this critique doesn't really work. Any 2 theists talking, the critique doesn't work because our grounding for morality is that our God exists.
Okay.
So critiquing the particular moral things isn't really going to do anything. They're just going to be warranted by God being all good.
Okay.
So, the only person who can really critique the morality of a theist is an atheist who says, "Oh, I have my own objective morality." But otherwise, we're just arguing over who God's existence. That's what we're arguing.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
But from a Christian position, like having so
From a Christian position, you
Yep.
should obey your slave masters as you obey your heavenly master, Jesus Christ.
sure thing, right? But also all are meant to be free in Christ, right? And then if you follow the sunnah of Christ, he had no slaves. Yeah, he had no slaves, neither his disciples, right? And then ultimately it was like Christians who actually went on to abolish slavery, not only in their countries but then elsewhere.
The thing about the abolition of slavery
Yeah.
is no one was really that big on it until it was economically no longer incentive.
But think about it this way, though. People say that. However, when the British were attempting to abolish it, people like the Obas of Lagos, for example, refused because for them it was still viable. So why would the British put weapons and effort and men on the line to abolish something that was no longer profitable? Because they not only did it in Jamaica, but went around the world, actioning it. So that doesn't sound like if like Britain came up with an unlimited energy source today, they wouldn't go around the world forcibly implementing it in like different countries because they don't stand to gain anything from doing so. What?
Industrialization. They continue.
But if they keep it for themselves, then they can beat everyone else.
No, but they need everyone else to be doing what they're doing. The system that they have, they need to be in line with. They're doing things. That's why they didn't support the South. The South in America was a big problem for them because they weren't industrializing. But even so, people can make this claim. But the North and British and everything, they were saying, "Oh, we hate slavery." But do you know whose banks were insuring those people as property?
The British banks, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
But that was a process, right? It didn't start. It didn't start immediately. It went on for a time.
I don't believe that the British Empire was moved by some great Christian humanitarianism. If they had been,
Yep.
they wouldn't have colonized Africa 40 years later. They wouldn't have let Ireland starve. They wouldn't have been robbing India. So clearly their moral incentive really isn't the thing, because if it had been, then all the other stuff would have been a problem too.
But also, don't forget that within Britain, for probably 200 years before slavery was abolished, there had been Christians who had been fighting for abolition of slavery as a topic for hundreds of years. But I'm not sure if there were Christians who were fighting against colonialism when it hadn't happened yet. So, no, but so slavery was occurring, like as far back as the 1500s, and there were people who were actively trying to end it for hundreds of years until it actually ended, right? But then colonization was like a really quick process. So were there people who were actively fighting against the idea of like colonialism before?
Wanted the opportunity to evangelize.
To evangelize, right? So I think that's where the difference lies. There was a grassroots long-term Christian project. What's up?
Chill.
Huh? What up?
We're just chatting.
Yeah, there was like a grassroots long-term Christian project to like ultimately end slavery. As far as I can see. But then your critique is absolutely valid. I'm just saying there's a historical reference to it where it wasn't long form.
I mean, I study history is one of the things I study.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm quite confident.
Yeah. So I mean, you're absolutely right. If they had this like massive moral awakening, why then go ahead and commit other evils?
I agree maybe there is some Christian motivation for why they did it.
Yep.
But I would say still the real push comes down to economic necessity.
Okay.
And I think it's also a power thing. I think them being able to tell every country what to do, or to go around and search their ships, I think there's a big element of demonstrating their naval.
And also there's this other thing as well where like Barbary pirates were also technically taking Europeans into slavery and they wanted to end that. Yeah, so
The whole thing with slavery in Islam is they weren't doing it properly, that's one thing.
and also the Quran doesn't even outline like any form of economic slavery. You know, like chattel slavery, yes, it's barbaric, but you like grow things like crops and tobacco.
I mean, it was just indentured, so you can't even hit your slave. Like if I were to even have you as a slave and I were to like do this on your face, that's grounds on your slave to be free.
But then technically, so it's funny, right? There's that, but also at least the Sunnis have held in like their what's the in the like fiqh and in their what's that other thing like Reliance on the Traveler, Sharia, yeah. And the Sharia was like you can kill a rebellious slave. So it's like
that's them Shafi law, but
yeah. So it's like you can't slap a slave, but you can kill him. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know
Yeah.
one for them, man. Innit?
Okay, fair enough.
I actually have that book at home.
Do Shias have their own fiqh books?
Yeah, we're Jafari, yeah. So we don't
Okay.
have 4 schools of law. We have one.
Yeah, one. Okay.
And the Jafar side.
Okay, well, I'll be curious to see what his views on these things
I
are.
had to look myself.
Yeah, fair enough. But I wasn't trying to like trick you. I was just trying to say like, what do you think about the stuff?
No, I mean, I think it will just have to be answered. Right now, I'm focused fully on philosophy.
On philosophy, and I'm guessing the Jafaris are all good with philosophy. They come from like a rich tradition or whatever.
Yeah. So philosophy is one of our Islamic sciences, as opposed to the Sunnis who think it's haram.
Yeah. Because now you're asking troublesome questions about God and sounding too Christian. Fair enough. Because like, do you feel like a lot of the medieval, So I look at some of the tafsir, particularly like Jalalain, like 1400s, right? And even, but it's like, it feels like these guys actually finally read the Bible and they were like, oh snap, wait a second. Look, like, yo, this isn't what it's in the Quran, right?
That's what Ibn Kathir tries to do.
Yeah, so they refer to the Bible to explain things in the Quran.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so, but then before that time, what were they doing as a means of understanding the context behind the verse, for example?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
My
Because-
school of thought has always been theologians, you know.
Since which century? The 10th?
As I can find it, it's in our books, you know. For example, we have a whole section in Al-Kafi and Al-Hadith that says the impermissibility of saying we can see Allah. Because the Sunnis say on the day of judgment we will see Allah.
See Allah, yeah, and His shin.
And we say, no, we can't do it. That's not possible.
So Allah has no form.
That's not possible.
Fair enough.
So for us, a lot of our stuff is focused, I think, more on rejecting some of the things the Sunnis have said. So like Ibn Kathir says that Judas was put on the cross instead of Jesus.
Yeah, I've heard that one. There was even, I think there's even another one I was reading. I forgot who it was, but it was basically saying that they were deliberating inside of, so they were in a room surrounded by their enemies. And then Isa says, who among you will like stand up for me? And then one guy does it like 3 times and then he goes for it. And yes, something he's Judas, something he's James, and all that good stuff. Yeah, I've heard. Well, yeah, it's hilarious. But hey, at least you know full well not to become Sunni. At least we have that.
They've been trying.
Huh?
They've been trying.
They have been. They have been. I'm
The
sure.
ones that I spoke to, they was better than one of them that me a care.
Of course.
I was speaking to Smarter Jannah.
Yep.
He knows for lots of stuff.
Okay.
He was like, I want to have to, he asked me to record what I said and put it into the video. That's obviously going to talk to someone about it. They're scared of the DNT argument.
He's going to go to Jake.
He is, but I thought Jason's hard. I thought Jake. Khalil and Danny whoops that man.
He did, and he graded him. I saw.
It's so Pete, bro said, you know when they say, he said to what did they say? He said, you know when they say I already told you? Anytime someone says in a debate I already told you, they've been cut. They've been cut because that's the code. That's when you don't want to explain it.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's definitely an issue. But no, I think I like the way he broke it down. The way that Allah has all these like attributes that are like either abstract or concrete, but they're not him. They're separate from him, or sorry, distinct from him in a real way.
So he's dependent upon them.
Yeah, because without those, he can't action out what it means to be Allah. And there's also the problem of like aseity when it comes to his attributes. Because if you read them all, some of them are like the most strong, and then some are like the ever living. So does the most strong have aseity, or can he have aseity without the ever living? So
that's what they're saying. They don't know. I asked them if Allah has an attribute of power, that means he does nothing through himself.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we don't say that. Well, so you are saying that.
So do you hold that all the 99 names are his essence?
Okay. There are attributes of essence and there are attributes of action.
Okay.
So mercy is things that are in creation, like the Quran, as is an attribute of action.
Action. Okay.
Recording this conversation. It's not a debate, but it's a nice conversation.
Go for it. I'll leave it alone. Go for it. How he came through to that belief and exactly what our people are. And he's still learning, so ultimately we'll talk about it again in the future, and then we'll see if eventually he can be drawn to Christianity. Come on, man. The only way truth in the life, man. Come on. But we'll see. But do you want to do anything, like kind of wrap up or anything, or whatever you like?
For me, accept divine simplicity today. Accept divine simplicity today, no matter who you are.
Fair enough. And then where God's actions and attributes are the same as his essence.
Exactly.
You avoid a lot of
no
tangles.
dependencies,
Yep.
No distinctions, no separations. Allah is one indivisible. Qul huwa Allahu ahad.
If only the Sunnis could hear that one. But okay, oh, look, we have one here. Ali, are you still going to talk to me, Ali? Okay, fair enough. Have a nice day, Ali. Love you.
Thank you, boy. We love you.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, that's everything. So, interesting convo, but we'll see what goes on from there. All right, God bless.